Our today's lesson is on finding the perimeter of polygons using the distance formula. Find the perimeter of the triangle using the distance formula. All right, the distance formula comes from the Pythagorean theorem. That's the distance of the x-coordinates squared plus the distance of the y-coordinates, difference of the y-coordinates squared. And you take the square root of all this. We tag the coordinates to let you know that subtraction, the order matters. And what we're going to do is we're going to find the distance. Let's say I start here. And let's say distance 2 and D3. And we're going to add these up. So let's go ahead and put these coordinates inside the formula. Let's say we start with 0, 3, and 6, 3. All right, so you're going to have 0 minus 6 squared. And you're going to have 3 minus 3 squared. So you'd have negative 6 squared plus 0 squared. And you're going to wind up with 36. The square root of that is 6. So you know the distance of the first part of this is going to be 6. So we know this is a distance of 6. Let's look at the distance between 6, 3 and 3, 1. So we're going to have 6 minus 3 squared plus 3 minus a negative 1 squared. This is all over the square root. So we get 3 squared plus 4 squared. This will give us 9 plus 16. And that's the square root of 25, which is 5. So this has a distance of 5. We have to get one more distance. And that's between this point, 0, 3, and 3, 1. So we're going to say 0 minus 3 squared plus 3 minus negative 1 squared. This is all over the square root. So this is negative 3 squared plus 4 squared. That gives us 9 plus 16. And again, you're going to get the square root of 25, which is 5. And the perimeter, you must add up all the distance of all 3 sides of this triangle. So you have 5 plus 5 plus 6. That is a sum of 16. All right, find the perimeter of the rectangle using the distance formula. Now we could find the distance between all 4 sides, but we know in a rectangle in geometry that opposite sides are congruent. So you only need to get the distance of 2 sides. Let's say this distance and this distance. So you'll find this distance and double it, and this distance and double it. All right, so I could say 0 minus 6 squared, 3 minus 3 squared. This is all over the square roots. So you have negative 6 squared plus 0. This is 36. Square root of 36 is 6. So this distance has a distance of 6. Okay, so now I want the distance between these two coordinates. So I'm going to say 6 minus 6 squared, 3 minus 0 squared. And this is all over the square roots. So this is 0 plus 3 squared, which is 9. The square root of 9 is 3. So this has a distance of 3. All right, so look, we have 6, but we have to double that because there's two sides that have a distance of 6. We have a distance of 3, but there's two sides that have a distance of 3 because we're dealing with a rectangle. So 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 3 is 6. So we have a perimeter of 18. That concludes the lesson for today.